This is a beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Easter 2021. And this is my favorite Sunday afternoon ride. This is Pine River Road. And it goes from Meridian Road down to St. Louis. And it follows the Pine River. And in the area of the country I live in the area of the state of Michigan that I live in, is very flat, very straight roads. So to find a road that is curvy, that follows the river, that is a little more interesting to ride than the long, straight, flat roads that is most of Michigan in this area. So it's kind of a neat ride. I do this down to St. Louis, and then it's a pretty straight ride down 46 back through Breckenridge, Hemlock, Merrill, into Shields. And then once I'm in Shields, I take River Road, which follows the Tittabawassee. This is the Pine River. And the River Road, the other River Road that I'm going to try to get on here today follows the Tittabawassee. I found out some limitations of my SD card, and I've not updated it, so this may just be the Pine River Road down to St. Louis today. I don't know if I'll get the rest of the other River Road on there. Need to get a bigger SD card, apparently. It is early spring, so not a lot of green grass and leaves on trees and things like that, so it's getting there though. Cows out there. It's interesting that I just started working out in this area, and the road that I work on is actually 8 mile up that way, a couple miles, and so this may be the route home a couple days a week. We'll see. Some days my wife works until 6, so I have no responsibilities between the time I get out of work and the time I need to be home. So as long as I get home and get the oven started for her, usually we're okay. Yeah, the river is just off to my left almost the whole way, at least in this section. Oh, that's kind of cool. Need to do something with the yard, but neat looking privacy screens they had up. It's kind of cool. Big curve there. That looked like a guy I knew. Lives up in Gaylord. More cows. Yeah, this is a great, I love their pond. A great Sunday afternoon ride, like when the wife says, hey, I feel like going for a ride today and it's really nice out. This is a lot of times the road that I'll hop on. Just because we're not gone forever, I think it takes me like 2 hours to do it, maybe. And it's a nice ride. There's not a lot of traffic. So, and I usually see a lot of bikes on this road because it is what it is. Got a pretty good sized campground down here. So it's a nice ride, you know. There is a nice ice cream place in Merrill, so we generally stop there and get a ice cream, which is something you do when you ride motorcycles. And it's just like anything else, I guess. Whatever you do, I'm sure it's a reason to get ice cream. There's a cool little gas station right here. There's a cool little picture op. Old school, they left it that way for whatever reason, but yeah, I've stopped there and taken some pictures of the bike and stuff. It's just kind of cool, nostalgic. Actually, if you look for it on the map, it's labeled as something, some kind of gas station or gas stop or something like that. On Google Maps, anyhow. The road between St. Louis and Shields is really long and straight and flat, so I'm not going to record any of that because it's just kind of a boring road as far as that goes. There's stuff there I like to look at. They got some of the big windmills down there, which I think are kind of cool. Some people don't like them. I don't know. I think they look cool. I like watching them. It is Easter Sunday, so of course everybody who doesn't go to church any other time of the year goes on Easter Sunday. More cows. Guess I never realized there was that many cow farms down here. And another motorcyclist. Got his woman out for a ride. Oh, turkeys. I don't know if you can see, there's a bunch of turkeys out there eating all the corn that's left. Yeah, this is a pretty good road for, oh, there's a nice Chevelle. Pretty good road for motorcyclists. I generally see, especially in the summertime, I generally see a couple of bikes up and down this road. And it's really weird is that I normally go this way down this road for some reason. I very rarely go the other way, and because I won't go down this road and then turn around and come right back up it. I generally like to ride in circles so that I'm not backtracking anywhere. Yeah, this is a really sharp turn. It usually gets me pretty hard. But I generally like to ride in a circle so that I'm not seeing the same thing or seeing just the other side of something. So for some reason this circle happens to be Pine River Road to St. Louis, and then whatever route I end up taking back. There's a couple different routes that I take back. I don't always take River Road. Farmers getting their fields ready. I saw a lot of that around Auburn. There's a lot of farming going on around this area. Nice shot of the river down there. Now, up around this corner, there's something interesting out in this field. And I don't know if you can see it. It's right out there. Right out there underneath that sprayer. It looks like a bald eagle. But it's not a bald eagle. It's a trap for this guy. And you look out there and it looks like a bald eagle, and you can always see tracks where somebody pulled over to look at the eagle. So the guy that lives in that house put it out there to get people to stop and look at the eagle. I'm sure he gets a laugh here and there out of it. Of course, the first time down through here, I stopped. Oh, look at that eagle! It's cool. My uncle had a great uncle who put a mounted deer head out on a post out in the field, so it looked like the deer was coming out of the field. He said by the end of fall, that deer had so many holes in its head, these people would stop and unload their gun and shoot at it and take a couple shots, and the deer didn't move or anything because it was just a mounted head. But he got a kick out of watching people stop and shoot at it, so. Hey, only 9 more miles. Yeah, it's not a very long trip. I sure wish this was a longer road. Another motorcyclist. Out enjoying the sunshine with his woman. Nothing better. Mine says it's still too cold. I think she'd enjoy it today. I think it was almost 60 when I left. In the low 60s anyhow. Warm enough I didn't even want my hoodie on anymore. I love when the FedEx guy comes to your house. He's usually bringing me bike parts, so I like that. This is another sharp turn that sometimes gets me. If I'm dazed and gawking, not paying attention, it's a little tricky because there's a dirt road that comes off right there, so a lot of times there's debris on the road, so that whole push harder theory sometimes get a little tricky on that corner. Whee! Got a little lean on her there. Last spring, I guess. A little cemetery. It reminds me of that one on Lake Huron. It's out looking over the lake. That one's looking over the river. Last spring about this time, there were some dams upriver that failed, and it sent a whole bunch of water coming down through these rivers. And it flooded a great deal of this area, especially if you live down the river. It actually, and I don't know if that was part of what happened up here. There was an issue up here at one of the bridges coming into St. Louis. More cows last year. It hit the bank hard enough that, and it was right on a corner, it hit the bank and it was close enough to the road that it didn't take any of the road, but like, that white line was where the road dropped off to the river, so it didn't look very stable at all. So they had it closed for a while. You had to go around it. I went around the barricade on the bike. I looked at it and I was like, man, that's fine for this. Not gonna be a problem. Yep, you can see a windmill up there, a couple of them. More cows. Must be cow farming country. They got chickens out back. Nice Bronco too. I think they got me last time too. I got stared at that Bronco too. Crossed over the line. That was one of my favorite vehicles I've ever owned, was my Bronco 2. Getting into the more populated area down through here, coming up on St. Louis, not too far, a couple more miles. Red truck's gonna pull out right in front of me. Oh, he crossed the road, good. Usually they pull out in front of me and then drive really slow. Except that they wait till I'm almost up there and then they pull out and start driving really slow. Some kind of greenhouse. Oh, look at that paint job on that thing. Probably can't see it. I noticed on my the last video I did of Port Sanilac, couldn't see a lot of detail that I was seeing on the camera. Certainly need to upgrade my camera. It's not high on my priority list, but certainly wouldn't hurt. That's kind of a pretty view out there across that green field. We can see how close the river is to the road right in here. I'm pretty sure it was just up here. Maybe not, but where that road washed out. The road didn't wash out, but the bank washed out. Nope, it wasn't this corner. Nice little house. Couple nice sheds out there too. Maybe they got their own lake over here. Yeah, almost got him. I don't know if you're seeing that bird fly out. Headed right for my front tire. Little tiny cemetery. Looks like maybe a private one. Got a fountain going in there. That's kind of cool. I think it was this part of the road that was washed out right up to the bank. Right there you can kind of see the fresh patch. And not much leeway on that corner. Took enough of that bank away that they closed the road. And this is St. Louis. Middle of the mitten, apparently. I would say they're probably pretty close. All right. ride right into St. Louis and then turn the video off. They got a dammed up river down here. A lot of times people are fishing at it. Fancy rig there. Yeah, looks like somebody's fishing today too. They catch there. Somebody up here fishing too. They got kind of a cool, like old town, downtown district. There's not a lot there like most downtowns, but I kind of discovered it last time I was down here. Typical old town. At least it's very typical Michigan old town. I'm gonna pull in here and turn my camera off, and I will start again once we get to River Road. Alright, this is River Road. This one follows the Tittabawassee River, which is on my right. I am just north of Shields. I can't really see the river. A lot of places it's on this particular road is floodplain as opposed to the river. There's a couple spots where you can see it, but not very many really. By the time I get home, this will have taken me like an hour and 40 minutes probably. And I don't know how much of this I'm going to get on this card because it's not a very big card, and so I may run out. It may just abruptly stop. So I'm working on getting a bigger card for it, for the camera, so that I can film a little more. Very long stoplight, and we're back on it. Just past that floodplain down, there's a valley where the river is up, and then those houses are actually on the other side of the river. This particular river last spring, when those dams broke, this one was up to the bridges that cross it. There's I think 3 bridges in this section that go from one side of the river to the other, and the water was up to those and over at least the approach on them. It was full. A lot of these houses were really concerned if they were going to be underwater. Figure out what that car is in front of us. I think it's a Vet. When I first saw it, I thought maybe it was a Viper. That's if you're gonna. There's a bypass that goes around Shields, so you don't have to go down right right through Shields. It comes up on the far side and then comes out right there. And a lot of times I'll take that. I still get quite a bit of river road, but I don't have to deal with the traffic on right in Shields. I do believe it's a Corvette. Those are amazing looking cars. Holy cow, I love those. They really are an American supercar. And yeah, they're expensive, but when you compare them to a Ferrari or Lamborghini, something exotic like that, it's like, well, you're getting a lot of car for what you're paying. You can see the river down there from here. It's down a little bit this year, which is good. This corner is extremely sharp. So you really got to pay attention on this one. Pick your entry speed well. This is Apple Mountain. It's a golf course, yay. And everything else. My blinker on. This particular section is a lot of residential. It's not particularly exciting. Yeah, just beyond there is where the river is. There's some cool looking houses down in this area. Once you get a little bit further up here, you'll see that the newer houses that they're putting up along here are just beyond extravagant. This particular house up here on the right is just really cool. Try to get as much of it as I can. It's this modern split design. I don't know, it's supposed to be super energy efficient and all that. They were just building it when I first moved to this area. They were just putting it up. The first couple times down through here, it was just being constructed, so kind of did get to see it go up. Kind of neat. Yeah, these particular houses, super fancy. I like the styling on that one, architecturally. I don't know, when I look at a house, I look at There has to be something there to interest me. You can't just put different roof lines like that one. It just has different roof lines on it. Nothing exciting about that house. There's one up here just around the corner that is really super cool. And I don't remember if they were building it or if it was this one right here. All those windows, the garage doors that are windows. It's just interesting. It's appealing to the eye. It's not just this great big huge thing with multiple roof lines. And that's how that's how nowadays how they're making a big house look more interesting, is they're just putting a bunch of roof lines on it. And it just doesn't catch me. There are other design elements that catch my eye. Here we are on Architecture Talk. That's what happens when you ride. You get talking about different stuff. Lehman's Green Apple Barn is up here, just on the left. Yeah, that's part of the apple orchard. They got goats and sheep, and they do a booming business in the fall. Those people liked white cars. And everybody in their family that came over likes white cars. Ooh, we're coming up to the roundabout. They just put this roundabout in. This road is that a new Bronco? It is. Bronco Sport. Not impressed. I like that old truck though. 13,000. Holy cow. See if we can get through here without getting run over. Nobody coming either way. Good deal. Used to be a four-way stop there. Worked about as well as any other four-way stop in Michigan. Everybody stops and just sits there and waits for somebody to go. So we're pretty much to the end. I mean, there is a bridge up here that we'll cross. Once we cross that bridge, if the camera's still recording, I'm going to shut it off. But this is a nice road. It is a nice twisty road. Lots of turns on it for this area, anyways. But you can't really see the river. It's mostly floodplain that you see. But the road itself is nice to ride. This corner coming up is fairly sharp. If you're not paying attention, it'll get you. $45, really? Oop, more motorcyclists. We've seen quite a few this ride. Honda, it looked like. Sometimes the Japanese bikes are as hard to tell apart as the Harleys. You can just tell it's an old inline 4, usually. They quite often made them look quite the same. So unless they're sitting still, sometimes they're hard to tell. I could tell that one of them was a inline 4. Might have been a Seika or a Maxim. Hey, we're still recording. Cool. I think these houses are a little closer to the river. Oh, there's some cabinetry. That was a dog. I thought they had like a big stuffed eagle out there. It was actually a big dog. Colored like an eagle. Brown body, white head. I got some four-wheel drives up here. Look at there. I don't know. It's just honestly the architecture of the 60s and 70s. Like if you go through downtown Midland, there's a lot of buildings with interesting architecture on them, and that's what I like to look at. These houses are just big to be big. See this little tiny house up here on the left? And then we got two great big huge houses over on the right. They aren't even that interesting to look at. That poor guy on the left's got a view of them now. Gotta look at them all the time. Now there used to be a bridge off to the right, Smith's Crossing Bridge, something like that. That bridge is not there anymore. I think I've been down there once. Yeah, we're almost to the end. There's a stop sign right up there where those cars were turning. I mean, it's like I said, most of this area is long, straight, flat stretches of road. And that's what it was between St. Louis and Shields, is just a long, straight, flat stretch of road. No curves, no change in elevation. So when you get a road like this that actually has curves on it, in this area, it's fun to ride. And I enjoy riding this one. And we're going to cross the Tittabawassee right here, the mighty Tittabawassee. They did a terrible job on this bridge too. I don't know why it starts and it sinks and then it's got a rise right here and then it drops off again. I don't know what's going on with it. Really don't like riding on it. But that was River Road coming up from Shields up past Freeland area. And I'm gonna call that done. Alright, since I still had some storage left on my camera, I'm gonna come down this road. It's actually called Saginaw Road. And it runs a little bit of the length of the river, but it's kind of, it has some elevation change anyhow. Not really directly like on my way home, like I wouldn't take this normally, but it is kind of a neat road. And the river is off on our right again, and it's mainly just floodplains that you can see. There's a dome house up here on the right. Kind of a cool house. Yeah, see the floodplains and the river's just down there. Just wants to be outside. I've seen so many people just sitting out by their front yard. There's that dome house. There's one, it's over right about where I got on Pine River in that area. It's set back in the woods just a little bit. And then there's one up here that you can't see that we actually lived in.